Hey, everybody. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to Maximize Your Monday. Listen, guys, we have had so many technical difficulties this morning trying to get this broadcast together, but we are here. I'm excited about it. I have a very special guest joining me on today. Listen, I'm excited to have her in the space. She texted me this morning, like, so yeah, my internet went out. She's like, but we're gonna figure this out. So I'm excited that she got the chance to figure it out with me. She had some internet issues, I had some computer issues. Listen, y'all, we were all over the place, but we are live and we are ready and we are excited. So I hope that you have pen and paper. We are approaching Maximize Your Monday just a little different for today. We want to talk a little bit about leadership. For those of you, if this is your first time joining me, I am Vision Coach Latoya Early, and I'm here to bring clarity, confidence, and expansion to the vision that God has given to you through coaching. And so Chase Great University, we are a niche certification company for Christian coaches. However, we have expanded our portfolio and we are really taking a deeper dive into serving leadership. I do believe that coaching starts it starts at the head, right? It starts in leadership. And so what we're doing is we have created opportunities to work with leaders, helping you to truly develop as a leader and to truly develop your team. And so I'm excited to have Southfields Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Jasmine Patton join us on today. We're going to talk a little bit about leadership, and we're going to keep her for as long as we possibly can, but this is a little different. So for those of you who normally rock out with us for Maximize Your Monday, hey, y'all, we're introducing something a little different on today. We wanted to bring this specific topic to you because we're actually kicking off the month of March in leadership over at the Chambers. And so we wanted to make sure that we came before you guys just to kind of get you into the month of March, marching into leadership. And so today I'm going to share with you 3 tips that that's going to truly shift your leadership shift your leadership style, right? We're going to talk about ways to shift your leadership style and the exact strategies that I share with you guys and I'm going to share with you as leaders are some of the exact strategies that I serve and I share with the coaches. So this is going to be really good. I'm waiting for Jazz. We're going to bring her up momentarily, but do me a favor. If you are a leader of an organization, you know a leader of an organization who could benefit from today's training, do me a favor and tag them in the comments. I'm excited. This is our very first broadcast over on LinkedIn. So we welcome to all of the LinkedIn viewers. Excited to be on LinkedIn on today. And so we are definitely live on different platforms, sharing these tips and strategies. So without further ado, we've already prolonged our hour. I want to introduce to you guys the executive director of the Southfield Chamber of Commerce. She is such an amazing leader. We have so much history together. I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to partner on this upcoming event. For those of you who did not see the flyer, we have a leadership kickoff on March 9th. And so we're going to talk about that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her up so that she doesn't have to sit in the back room for too much longer. And I want to welcome Jasmine. What's going on? Thank you so much for joining me on today.
Thank you for having me and helping me navigate all these technical difficulties. We're in the office of my car because it's the only place that I could get internet connection. So we're still going to make it happen despite the
Absolutely.
weather.
Absolutely. It is definitely storming again here in Michigan. So, for all of you who are enjoying warm weather, we don't care, okay? Because it's storming again. No, but again, I'm excited to talk with Jazz about leadership development and just really introduce the concept of what the Chambers is offering for the month of March for the members and for those who are looking for a special community to be a part of. So, of course, I want to give Jasmine the opportunity to introduce herself and just to share a little bit more about the Chambers and what she would like to share with you guys.
Sure. So my role at the Southfield Chamber of Commerce is executive director, and really that's just a great title to say that I help connect businesses, people, and resources. So overall, the chamber is just a hub for business professionals like yourself and companies and small business owners to be able to have networking events, to share resources, to get to know one another and okay, and blacked out for a second, into deeper relationships. So I'm just excited. I'm just excited about the next level. I'm excited about the offerings and how you've been able to assist me when it comes to relationship intelligence and leadership skills and training. So, and this next level of what we're looking to do in terms of connecting people and resources and leaning into professional development and training more, I knew that we had to do something in partnership with the great resources that you offer at Chase Great.
I love it. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about the March 9th event because number one, we get to introduce a different leadership style, a different leadership technique to the members and the potential members of the commerce of the chamber. So that's going to be an exciting that's going to be an exciting launch because I know that a lot of times, we always hear about diversity and inclusion. We always hear about, leadership training and professional development. But the way that we're going to make this presentable to the audience is through relationship intelligence. And so I want to talk about that because again, a lot of times this isn't something that we focus on when it comes to leadership development and really learning how to better serve our teams. And so the training that we're going to kind of use as a model, I've shared with Jasmine, and she's had the opportunity to go through one of our mini courses, and I'm excited about it because she was able to experience it hands on. One of the tools that we use is a tool that helps you really understand who you are as a leader, and it's a fantastic tool to help you understand your team members. I know that, as leaders, sometimes we get in these positions where we have all of these different personalities. And it's like, how do I navigate through the different personalities, through the different learning styles, through the different communication styles? And I'm not for certain how to effectively communicate where that person can receive. Most times we're used to leading from a place of our own personality and our own platform. And so what we've introduced is a different way to lead. We've introduced a different concept. We've introduced a different way to really develop yourself, but develop your team at the same time. So I want to just kind of go into 3 tips really quickly while we have Jazz here. I want to share 3 tips that will help you shift your leadership and team development skills. And so I would love for Jazz to kind of expound a little bit on these tips that I want to share. And then again, we're going to take a deeper dive into each one of these areas on March 9th at the Southfield location. So I encourage you, if you have not secured your seat for the Southfield location for the Southfield event, I want you, there's 2 places that you can go. You can always go to the Southfield Chambers website and register there, or you can visit us at chasegrayuniversity.com and register there as well. So I'll be sure to put those links inside of the comments once we're done, so that I'm not multitasking and messing stuff up. So we're going to jump in, and I just want to bring up tip number 1. Now, this first tip, Jazz, I can't wait to hear your perspective on this, because we've been taught this our entire life. Okay, we've been taught this concept our entire life, and I believe that we've been taught this concept out of error. Being in business for as long as I've been in business, being a coach, I believe that being in a relationship, I believe that it was taught out of error. And so one of the very first tip I want to share is don't treat others the way you want to be treated. Don't treat others the way you want to be treated. So I want to hear from Jazz. Before I expound on it, I want to hear her perspective, and what do she hear, what do she think when she hears that tip?
So I think yes, of course, we've all been taught, or most of us have been taught, to show respect and to do unto others as you would do, for yourself. And I think in terms of leadership, especially from my experience working at the chamber, I work with lots of different personalities, lots of different people from different backgrounds, different levels in their career. And I notice everyone, without a doubt, still has a strong desire to stay connected, regardless of how high up you climb on a corporate ladder or how you scale your business. There are some parts of that process that you need community, and figuring out where to find that community and how to relate to that community and to build relationships within that community definitely resonates with, you have to treat people in the way they will receive it. And you have to present information multiple times in multiple ways in order for it to kind of click, for that community to be on one accord, to move forward in the goal setting that they're looking to do. So I think it's really important to not only have communication skills, but to have listening ears, like we tell, our younger students, and also empathy when you're hearing someone reflecting back to you their preferred style of leadership. And we all have had the experience of being able to have access to quizzes and access to people that have given us feedback in our personal lives. But after you receive that feedback and those tools, then what? And I think core strengths and the testing that you and I went through really helped me with that next step of then what, in terms of my relationship intelligence and being able to connect with the audiences that I serve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so this is why I asked this question, right? Because the tool that we use through Core Strengths, it really helps you look at this question from a different perspective. The tool that we use when I make the statement, don't treat others the way you want to be treated, because I believe that's something that Jazz learned about herself when she took the assessment. It was like, oh my gosh, like this makes so much sense. But what we identified with Jazz, the way that I would coach Jazz through what we're, through different areas, it's not going to look the same the way that I need to be coached, right? And I think that realization is something that a lot of leaders struggle through. It's kind of like, I'm doing my best. I'm putting my best foot forward, but I believe that we can take things to the next level if we stop trying to, like you said, respond to people the way that we want to be responded to, lead people the way that we want to be led, but really take the time to learn our team members, those that we're working with, those that we're partner with, so that we can learn how to communicate in a way that they're going to be receptive of what we're sharing. And this core strengths tool that we're introducing on March 9th, this is going to really help you see team development from that perspective, and it's really going to help you shift the way you show up. I guarantee you, because now, and we use this tool with our coaches as well. So when we jump on our coaching call, it's like night and day from how we used to do it, right? Because now I'm not jumping on the call, I'm being me, but I'm taking how you receive into consideration, and I'm adjusting my language. I'm adjusting my approach. I just had a team meeting, Jazz, and one of the coaches said, we have this protocol of how we, track our coaches. And she said, you know what? She said, I didn't do it this way because I learned this triggers her. And so my approach, I readjusted my approach, and I did it this way, and I got a much better response. And y'all just don't know, like all my little lights just start flickering because that's the point. If we're going to be effective coaches, if we're going to be effective leaders, then guess what? We're going to have to make some adjustments. It's not about treating them the way we want to be treated. It's about learning who they are so that we can approach them the way that they'll be receptive to whatever it is that we're sharing. So I thank you for that, Jazz. Okay, here's tip number 2. Okay, tip number 2 is communication styles are subjective, and you should be open to learning different forms and different ways to communicate for effective results. What do you think about that, Jazz?
I think this one is a bit of a challenge because we all know that we're different. We all know that we communicate different, but we don't necessarily know the background as to why, right? And frankly, in a workplace setting, we don't necessarily have the time to figure out
Yeah,
the why.
that part.
And I think a tool like Core Strengths and being able to go, whether you're saying coaching or in the corporate world, you're saying trainers, right? Interpersonal communication and those skills, they overlap in so many areas of our lives. And I think this particular process and identifying your core strength, identifying the core strength around you, who you're working with, your team members, it helps you cut past the time frame that it normally would take to understand how someone communicates and the why behind why they communicate in that way. So it really helps you to kind of fast track that information to get to what you need to get, which is how can we best work together to collaborate and partner to accomplish this goal, whether it's on a team, whether it's in building relationships, whether it's in getting a project. Those are the pieces that I think really help expedite, right, getting to that next level. And I think so many of us want that kind of whisper in our ear on how to connect with someone that's in our work, in our personal lives. And I think that this allows others to kind of have that tool in their back pocket to see a clear path and to get to that goal quicker.
I love that. I love that you use the word fast track. A lot of times we don't want to make everything seem so instant, but this tool really is an instant tool. Like it's the moment that you're able to see things from a different perspective, when you're able to learn people differently. It really challenges you on how you show up and how you communicate. I'm so much more intentional with how I communicate with my team members now, that I understand what triggers them. I understand when they're in conflict. These are some of the things that we've been able to identify using this core strengths tool. Being able to recognize, oh my goodness, I've just sent one of my team members into conflict. Now, one of the things that Jasmine just talked about the fast track is that spending the time to learn it completely changes immediately, right? It's not something that, it's going to take time for you to learn the concept. The moment that your eyes are open to this new way of looking at your team members or looking at those that you're working with, it completely shifts how you show up. And so I love the fact that, she used that term because, again, we think that it's going to take a long time. I don't have the time to sit down and learn every single team member that I have. Most likely we want to learn them through the course of time. But if there was a tool that you can use that is going to give you a screenshot of who you're talking to so that you can better communicate with them, it saves so much time. And so I love that she used that fast, that quick act language, so that those of you who feel like, I don't really have time to sit down and learn all 200 of my team members, or all 20, or all 5, how many ever you have, this tool is such an aggressive tool that you're able to capture, what you need to know in a screenshot. And I love that. I love that about this tool. So thank you for that, Jazz. Okay, so here's my final tip. Again, I don't want to take up too much more of Jazz's time. I appreciate her for joining us on today, especially with the weather and her being down and all type of stuff. So we're going to keep it going. If you have any questions for us, though, please do not hesitate to drop them in the comments. Whether or not you're joining us here on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, we will definitely get to your concerns. If you're interested in learning more about the core strengths tool and how Chase Great can help you truly shift how you show up as a leader with your team, and how can you change your perspective, and how can you create a better working culture or working environment, then I would love for you to connect with us. If you're in the Metro Detroit area, we invite you to our event on March 9, 2023 at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time out in Southfield. I am the special guest. I'm just here with the Chambers, but we wanted to definitely bring this conversation or this discussion live so that you guys can really understand this different perspective we're taking to leadership, right? So here's my final tip. This one is a pretty interesting tip because I don't think many of us know this about ourselves. When we are going through different assessments and different trainings, one of the things that we're always provoked to learn about ourselves are our strengths, right? A lot of times you learn about your strengths here at Chase Great and in core strengths. We don't necessarily focus on weaknesses. We look at them as overdone strengths, or we look at them as areas of opportunity. But for the most part, we don't know that we have 28 strengths. This tool that we use with our leaders helps you identify the 28 strengths that you're using, that you use occasionally, and the ones you just stick in your pocket. And what I found is that when you see these, when you see the 28 strengths, it boosts your confidence. It encourages you. It's like, man, I didn't know that I had all of these strengths. While I may not use them all the time, I didn't know that I had them. So my third and my final tip that I want to share with leaders on today, because now that you have 28 strengths, is I want to encourage you to pull and use your team members' strengths. One of the things that we offer using our core strengths resource is helping you identify those 28 strengths, right? That's one of the results that you gain with working with us, is that you're able to identify those 28 strengths, and then you're able to learn, how can I pull some of the strengths that I don't use to the forefront? And then as a leader, how can I pull on my team members' strengths? So I want to pause there and allow Jazz to share anything she would like to add when it comes to leadership and truly using this tool to identify the strengths in your team members.
I think because I work with so many different teams, volunteers, board members, it's a team can be defined in multiple ways, right? It doesn't necessarily have to look like the staff that you employ. It could be the people that you identify in accomplishing your goal. So that could look like, your family unit. That could look like the people that are assisting you, whether they're vendors. That could look like volunteers. That could look like board members. There's so many different pockets in terms of connecting it to identifying the different personalities within your team and leaning into relationship intelligence. And we're at a time right now, especially in the workplace, where artificial intelligence is the buzzword, right? All the tools that are coming up in terms of how to use pathways in order to replace gaps that may be in your team at the moment. But I think it's also equally to our advantage when we're looking at building teams to look at those strengths that you're highlighting and to focus on how to enhance the people that you currently have in your workplace, on your teams, whether that's formal or informal, and how to best use them. And one of my personal pet peeves that I hear a lot in the workplace is if someone does not fit into a particular box or job description, then that means that they may not be a good fit for your company and you have to find someone else. And we all know that acquiring new talent and having to bring and onboard someone else on the task that goes into that, the money that goes into the time that goes into that. And I think it's a smarter shift in your mindset and perspective as a leader to look at, okay, what are the things that Latoya is really good at? And are there other opportunities either within our organization or within our teams that would best fit utilizing that relationship intelligence aspect and putting the people in the right places versus then eliminating them from a company or organization or from a mission to find someone else who may or may not end up being the right fit at the end of the day once all that acquisition has taken place and time and money has been invested. So I think as we look at tools like artificial intelligence and we look at the people who are already on our team, or maybe we see some hurdles or some problems that we've had and trying to develop someone into being something they may not be the right fit for, is it better to try to force someone to fit into that role, or do you look at that role, divide up some of those tasks, enhance the person that is currently great in some of those tasks, and maybe find a part-time person or reduce that other person's hours to fit what your overall goals and missions are? So I think overall the key word is intelligence, right? And looking at all the tools, including the relationships and the artificial tools, if you decide to tap into that as well, right? And just being wise in how you move forward with utilizing people, not only for the sake of accomplishing your goal, but to keep people in the positions that they're passionate about, that they'll stay and you'll have less turnover because they feel connected to whatever they are good at and highlighting those strengths.
Listen, I'm over here just super excited because everything that Jasmine just shared, for number one, she learned by applying the tool, right? So working with Jazz, we've had the opportunity to incorporate this tool as she is continue to develop herself as a leader, and seeing how this tool can now serve her in her industry and with the members that she work with, and the different team members that she has to pull together for certain projects. I absolutely love this. One thing that stood out is the looking at how you don't have to, when you have a team member or whoever you're working with that may not be fitting for a particular role or a particular position, how this tool can help you better position them. Right. So instead of, wasting dollars on bringing in new team members, or wasting dollars and not maximizing a person in their potential and their greatest potential, this tool is going to help you position your leaders for the proper role, for the proper responsibilities. And so imagine being able to see that screenshot prior to, and being able to now move the pieces around on the table, on the board game, so that you can get better results. Right. I think that is such an awesome way to look at this, because now instead of me sitting back and saying, man, I need to now go out and find someone else to fulfill this position. No, I can look at, my results, and I can say, well, maybe if I move this person over, or maybe if I readjust this person, then we can gain better results. And so I love that you were able to just kind of see that level of success in the time that we've been able to spend together with using this tool. And it's only the beginning. We just started using this tool, and I'm excited to introduce it to the members of the chambers, and for the leaders who are, again, watching us here. I'm hoping that these tips that we've shared with you on today is something that you want to apply to your personal organization, to your team, to you as a leader. Say, how can I become a better leader? How can I better serve my team? Because let's be honest, we've talked about not treating others the way you want to be treated. We've talked about learning different communication styles. We've talked about identifying different strengths in your team members so that you can know how to readjust them or how to use them at their greatest potential. And so knowing these different, learning these 3 different tips today, I'm hoping that you're looking into your organization and you're desiring a culture change. You're desiring a culture shift. Some of the things that has happened over the past 3 years, the past 4 years of our lives, people are different. People are showing up different. People are communicating different. People are expecting different out of the organizations. And so it's now time to make the adjustments in our organization so that we can reach better results. Coach Latanya says we are not stuck. Flexibility can help us yield better fruit. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this tool will definitely help you understand where to be flexible and how to incorporate flexibility. So thank you so much for that, Coach Latanya. Jazz, did you have anything else that you wanted to share with us?
No, overall, just thank you for having me on. I appreciate the conversation as always. And I hope this conversation continues for those that are able to join us on March 9th. I've seen that you placed the link to register and connect with us. We make ourselves available for our members and future members. And thanks again.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you so much, Jasmine, for joining us today for Maximize Your Monday. Again, today was a little different. We wanted to focus a little bit more on leadership and just share some leadership tips and strategies with you so that you can make some personal adjustments. One thing about Chase Gray University, the things that we focus on as leaders is we try to, make sure that we are not only working and serving people, but that we're working on ourselves, right? And to be a better leader for others, you have to be willing to be a better version of yourself. And so using this tool, again, the core strengths tool is a tool that not only we use with our coaches here at Chase Gray, it has tremendously changed how we coach. It has been a fantastic tool, but now that we are connecting it with different organizations, now that we're connecting it with different leaders, I'm expecting for this to truly make a huge impact on the success and the results that organizations are seeking. And so I'm excited about that. And so I would love to address any concerns. If anyone have any questions about our leadership and team development training and workshop, please do not hesitate to reach out to learn more. Not only do we have this event on March 9th, but we have an opportunity for leaders to actually come out and go through a half-day training with us on March 18th. So March 9th, we're going to talk a lot about leadership development. We're going to talk a lot about different tips and strategies you can use to implement into your organization to become a better leader, to really develop your leadership skills, to truly help, develop your team. But on March 18th, we're actually going to incorporate the tool, and you're going to get the opportunity to not only take the tool, take the assessment, receive your review, but we're going to go through a partial training or a mini training so that you can start implementing some of the skills and training strategies that you've learned. You can start implementing them in your organization. And that's going to be on March 18th. Just looking to see who we have here. Hey, Coach Latrice, so glad that you were able to join us on today. We have Coach Latanya here with us. I'm going to go and head over to our different platforms and see if we have any questions on any of our streams so that we can make sure that we are addressing the concerns of those who are viewing us. So if you are in a leadership, if you're in a group that we've tagged you in, if you're catching us live, we are glad to have you here on today. So I'm just looking really quickly. It looks like we're good. It looks like we're good across the board. And again, I want to thank Jasmine. She is the Southfield Chamber of Commerce executive director. She has partnered with Chase Great University, allowing us to come in and introduce this fantastic leadership and team development tool to the members and the future members of the chambers. And so if you are in the Metro Detroit area, I encourage you to visit the link below. It's scrolling below. Click the link. Join us for the March 9th event. This event is we're going to take a deeper dive into some of the tips that we shared on today. And then there's a part 2 if you decide that you want to take this tool and apply it to you as a leader. Take this tool and apply it to your business. We have a workshop on the 18th of March. So keep that in mind. This is our way of celebrating our Women's Month. So I hope that all of our executives who are women in position, that you will join us for this. I love it. Thank you so much, Coach Letitia. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. So if there are no additional questions or concerns, again, we talked about the 3 tips. If you missed the 3 tips that we shared today, we talked about number 1, don't treat others the way they want to be treated. I know that for hundreds of years, we've been taught, to treat others the way that you want to be treated. But as a leader, I've learned that the way that I like my popcorn is not the same way that my team member likes hers. And so if I continue to serve her the way that I want to be served, I'm doing her a disservice. I'm doing her a disjustice. I need to learn how she wants to be served. That is what true leadership looks like. It's not about, being in a seat of superior. It's about learning, how do I serve you better? How do I accommodate you better? How do I make sure as a leader you are reaching your greatest potential? Because if we have an overall goal in the organization, we want to make sure that we're reaching maximum results. Well, in order to do that, you have to learn and understand, right? And so we don't want to approach leadership any longer with this superior mindset. We want to approach it in a relationship intelligence way, where I'm understanding how to create a relationship with you so that we both can win, right? So don't treat others the way you want to be treated. Learn how they want to be treated, right? Number 2, communication styles are subjective. Be open to learning different ways to communicate with those you are working with. Not necessarily a staff member or someone that may be a part of your staff team, but maybe you're working on a particular project. Maybe you're working within a network group. Learn how to communicate differently. This has definitely been something for me, working with different personalities and different characteristics and different types of people. Me learning how to communicate with you better, where my humor, sometimes my humor isn't taken funny. It's not funny to the receiving person, right? And so just learning how to communicate better is another way for us to make those proper adjustments in our leadership styles. And then lastly, understanding the different strengths of those that you're working with. We all have 28 strengths. We have 28 strengths. Are you using them? Do you know how to use them? Do you know how to pull them out of those that you're working with? Do you know how to pull them out of your different team members? Something that Jasmine said when it came to understanding the strengths of those that you're working with is it really helps you organize your team better. Who can work in what position or fulfill each task the best, right? Where do they operate best? You may have someone working in one lane, but they really thrive in another. Are you aware of that? Do you know how to move the pieces around your chessboard so that you can win? This tool accelerates that learning curve. Most times we have to work with someone for a certain amount of time in order to know this type of insight, in order to gain this level of information. But what this tool does is it really accelerates your learning curve, where now you don't have to work with someone for a certain amount of time to understand them. The tool that we use in our leadership and team development training will help you gain an amazing snapshot of who this person is, how they operate at their core, what sends them into conflict. Now that piece alone is something that is very important. We have so many different people on our teams and we don't know that we're triggering them, right? We don't know that the reason why it takes someone to respond to an email longer than it did before is because something could have triggered them. That person could be in conflict and they don't even know it, right? And you don't even know it. And so these are some of the resources and tools that we're able to serve our clients through our leadership and team development training. So I just wanted to bring this information to you guys on today. Again, Maximize Your Monday was a little different on today, but I'm so glad that you guys joined us. Be sure to mark your calendar and join us on March 9th at the Southfields Chamber of Commerce as we kick off March into Leadership. And then mark your calendar for March 18th. If you are a decision maker, if you're a leader of an organization or a leader of a team, I invite you to our half-day workshop on March 18th, where we're going to truly take a deeper dive into this tool that we're using, and we're going to learn how to incorporate it into your organization so that you can gain better results. Cool. Hey, Brittany, thank you so much for joining us. So listen, we're all set with Maximize Your Monday on today. Super glad that I was able to stream live on LinkedIn. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you guys inside of the community. Be blessed.